Hey yogis and yoginis. Today's practice is going to take us into an overview of the 5 niyamas. So we have Saucha, Santosha, my favorite. Not that I should pick favorites, they're all amazing. Tapas, Svadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranadhana. So over the next couple weeks, we will take each one of those individually. We'll plan a day for each one so you get to delve into the philosophical concept of each one in more depth. Today is going to be a general practice with the intention of shining that mirror back on ourselves, always reflecting and watching within. Okay, all of our niyamas are internally reflected, where the yamas are typically externally reflected, our interactions with others. We can make the niyamas have to do with our interactions with others, of course, okay? But in our yoga practice, we're always intentional about making our practice internally oriented. So we will have a little bit of meditation today and some breath work. We also will have some flow with the intention of creating some heat in the body, okay? Our purpose with yamas and niyamas is to create a sense of a calm mind so that we get to lead to that space of bliss in our lives. So always intentional about tuning into, am I practicing these concepts on my mat, so that when I go off of my mat, I get to say, oh yeah, I learned that on my yoga practice. I've already practiced that in my practice today. Can I also live that in my interactions with other people and my interactions with myself? So tune into your breath. Tune into awareness of sensation. All of the yamas still apply. Okay, loving kindness to yourself, being truthful to yourself, not clinging to poses, not lying. We already talked about truthfulness. I said that one. What else am I missing? Moderation in your poses. And there's one more somewhere in my brain. Non-stealing. Don't steal from yourself by taking your mind away from what you're doing in the present moment. Okay, so come to your practice space. If you need something like a block to pull the ground up to you, a strap to extend arms and legs, you know the drill, okay? So coming to a seated position, if you need to sit on top of something, if your low back or your hips are bothering you, go ahead and grab something that could be used as a bolster to raise you up. And then roll your shoulders up and back a few times. Drop them down. Hands are gonna face the ground today, unless you feel like they need to turn up, and then go ahead and turn them up. Go ahead and let your eyes close. Take a moment to just sink down into your body. Allow your awareness to just watch and observe from your hair follicles all the way down to your forehead, in between your ears, behind your eyes. As you inhale, notice the flow of air in your nasal passageways. And then open up your mouth, feel your breath wash out. As you inhale, see if you can create some sound with your breath. As you exhale, open and softly let go. Make that your intention today as you practice. Every inhale opening you up, and every exhale intentionally letting go. We have the ability to do both, to be both open and clear, free of the past, but only if we choose it. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, melt your chin down to your chest. So our first niyama, Saucha, translates as cleanliness. Inhale your right ear to your right shoulder. And then release your right hand down by your side. Push the heel of your hand down and let your left arm get really heavy, kind of pulling the shoulder down. So take every breath in as if you are intentionally cleaning the inside of the body where you feel the sensations. So currently, cleaning through your neck, your shoulder, your jaw. As you exhale, melt your chin down. Place your right hand, roll your left ear to your left shoulder. Breathe in, cleansing your body. As you breathe out, reach the left heel of your down, press down through the heel of your hand. approach our practice, clean body, clean mind, there are many ways that we can create a sense of cleanliness in our life. For some of us, having that cleanliness on the outside helps us feel cleaner on the inside. For some of us, the inner practice comes before the outer practice. So you have to figure out how you work and what feels best to you. Melt your chin down to your chest. Roll your shoulders up and back as your head hangs down. And then roll your shoulders forward. So we use our yoga practice to clean the body out, especially when we sweat. Inhale, lift your spine up. As you exhale, hands rotate to the right, push down, lift up. So if you get a little bit warm in your practice today, that's fine. Tune into it as a sense of cleansing the body of toxins, especially when we twist. So we'll have a few twists today in our practice. Added onto our vinyasa, intentionally creating heat. Unwind. Our second niyama, santosha, press down, lift up, contentment. Can you give yourself permission to be content in your own body, to be content with your own body? That might be hard for you. So if it's hard, just notice, wow, that's really hard for me. And then just give yourself permission to be open to it, unwind. Right hand comes down, lift up and over. Push down, reach up. If your elbow can come to the ground, let it. If your elbow needs to stay straight, be content with where you are. Breathing in and breathing out. Go ahead and come up. Plunge your left hand, reach up and over. Again, elbow might bend, touch the ground. Elbow might stay extended. My low back is bothering me today, so I'm going to be content with not pushing deeper than I need to. Inhale. As you exhale, bring both hands up. Take your wrists, roll them all the way to the sky. And then bring them all the way down. Our third niyama, tapas, self-discipline, okay? Also translates as a sense of heat. Shake your wrists. So we want to get that burn. Roll your wrists around. Take your right arm back up one more time. So can you stay disciplined to be honest with yourself about where you really can be? If you can take the challenge today, take the challenge. Stay disciplined to not stop the practice. Stay disciplined to not go further than you are ready for today. Come up, switch your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Press both palms open to the sky. Lengthen through your spine. Next concept, Svadhyaya, self-study. Walk your hands forward. Anytime you fold forward down in our yoga practice, you might put your head all the way on the ground. You might need to leave your arms straight and just leave your head melting down towards the ground. Anytime we come into this forward folded position, the intention is always bringing our awareness in. It's a good reminder of our practice of Svadhyaya, self-study, self-awareness, watching and observing ourself. Breathing in, breathing out. You give yourself permission to watch and observe yourself during your yoga practice and your meditation without judgment. It gives you the ability to remember to do that when you're off your mat. Go ahead and rest your right elbow towards the ground. If it doesn't touch, just reach both arms straight. If it does touch, you're going to let your elbow come down. And then whether your arm is straight or your elbow is bent, you're going to pick up your left arm. Breathing in. So watching and observing your body as well as watching and observing your mind. Go ahead and melt down. Arms start straight. Extend both arms forward and your head might melt all the way down to the ground. You might keep your spine up with your head just melting. Bring your left elbow back. If it'll touch the ground, go ahead and let it. If it needs to be straight, let it. And then bring your right arm up. Our last concept, Ishvara Pranadhana, is a sense of surrender, letting go. Okay, so the pose is not working, but letting go of pushing too hard, too fast. Breathing in. As you breathe out, melt back down and round yourself up. Bring your legs back behind you. We'll start in our tabletop position with wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, coming into your cat-cow. Exhale. Inhale, drop your belly down. Open up through your spine. And then as you exhale, round your back. So always opening up through the spine. Always tuning into left side, right side. Be really intentional with your Ujjayi breath today, in and out your nose, so that your breath is one of the cleansing mechanisms that you're using in your practice. We can learn to use the breath to calm the mind in the poses. We can use the breath to calm the mind in life. Those of you that struggle with anxiety, getting control of your breath is a huge tool to have. Come center. Walk your hands to the right side of your space as if you're going to do a push-up. You're going to round your back, twisted cat, and then melt down, twisted cow. So sternum coming to the side, tailbone facing the back. Inhaling, exhaling. One more. And then neutralize your spine. Walk your hands all the way to the left side of your space. Fingertips face the side. Round up into twisted cat. And then melt down into twisted cow. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Breathing in. Neutralize your spine. Walk your hands center. Pick up your right hand, place it a handprint forward. Okay? Left arm reaches up. You're going to dive it straight underneath you to the side. Pull your shoulder and your head back. Rest the side of your head down. Let your left arm go limp and flop it down, and then push the right heel of your hand down strong. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, pull your hips to the left. So intentionally, our twists are meant to cleanse the body, cleanse the digestive system. So squeeze your tummy here, like you're wringing out a dirty dish rag. And get all the toxins out with our twists. We'll do some standing twists later. Unwind. Leave your hands the way they are. Your right arm's going to slide forward. Your chin is going to melt over your left shoulder and drop your head. Now some of you might say, I don't want to lower down that low because it doesn't feel good. So you could just lift up and stay here. Unless it feels good to melt all the way. Some of you can probably open up your throat onto your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hug your belly. Push into your right hand, slide it back. Plant your left hand, bring it out a little bit further in front of you. Right arm comes up. Heel of your hand and fingertips are going to slide right behind your left wrist as far as you can. Then pull back so that the outside of your shoulder and your head come down. Let your head rest completely. Left heel of your hand presses down to get a little deeper twist through your mid-back. Pull your hips to the right. Squeeze your abdominal wall. And breathe. See if you can move your rib cage with your breath. Inhale, ribs expanding. Exhale, belly squeezing. Inhale, lift up. Slide your chest open. Reach that left arm out. If you can melt all the way down with your chin or your forehead to the ground, that's fine. If you need to lift up a little bit so there's not as much pressure on that right shoulder, that's fine too. Inhale. And exhale. Hug your belly. Round yourself up and lift the heels of your hands just a few times. Make sure that your fingertips are super wide. Feel like you're going to palm a basketball. And then you're going to lift up into your plank pose. Make sure that your body is super strong and straight here so that when you pull back to your down dog, you're not super closed off. Okay? So nice long downward facing dog. You're just going to bend your elbows a few times, taking the crown of your head hairline towards the mat. Starting to build a little bit of heat in the upper body with the intention of being content with your own strength and your own flexibility. Flexibility and strength are changeable, you guys. If you put the work in, they will change. So be content with where you are and be content about showing up and doing the work. Santosha.
almost an attitude of gratitude. Straighten both arms, plant your left foot, pick up your right foot and just kind of dangle, hook your toes behind your calf. And then bend your knee and extend it. And bend your knee and extend it. And bend and extend. Go back to your breath. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling out your mouth. One more. And then switching sides. Holding our downward dog for a while here, building some heat in the body. The heat of discipline to stay in a pose when it becomes challenging. Breathing in. Breathing out. The more disciplined you become, the more mental strength and power you have to draw from. If you don't try hard things and intentionally give yourself permission to stay when things get difficult, it's just too easy to walk away in life. Plant both feet. Inhale. As you exhale, pull through to your plank. And then give it a slow melt down, chaturanga. Please remember you can put your knees down if you need to. And then once you're all the way flat, untuck your feet, press up into your cobra. Remember that your cobra can stay super low. Shoulders rolling up and back. You can lift halfway. You can straighten the arms all the way, but hips are down on your mat. Inhale, throat opens. Exhale, now all the way down. You're going to come into puppy pose. So toes top, chest melts all the way to the ground, forehead comes down. Some of you will feel comfortable opening up through the front of your throat, so hips are stacking over knees. Breathing in, breathing up. So as you place your heart open towards the mat, with the intention of opening through the heart space. The heart energy center is the balancing point between your body and your spirit at an energetic level. There's no better place to start your self-study than at the heart. Self-observation, self-awareness, not self-judgment. If the space is not open, don't judge it. There's probably a reason. Breathe. Lift the heads of your shoulders. Tuck your chin if it's not. Walk your hands in and you're going to come back into your plank. Okay? I'll turn with you because we're going to flow. Take an inhale, pull your hips back. And you're just going to surrender to the breath and the movement. Walk or float feet to hands. So last time we learned the little float. If you want to add it on, go ahead. I'm not going to break it down today because we've already done that. So if you don't want to float, go ahead and just walk. So you're going to fold forward. Once you're in your forward fold, drop your head. Inhale. Lengthen your spine. Hands under shoulders. If you're floating, gently land. Bend your elbows, lower down. Remember, every time I say float, you can step your feet back in the lunge. Take a push-up. Press to plank, then to downward facing dog. Stay here. Breathing in. Breathing out. So we're going to run through our traditional Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation series, a number of times. Surrender to the flow and the movement linked with your breath. We call that vinyasa. Vinyasa translates as flow. Linking movement with breath. Inhaling, lift your thumbs, lift your heels. Exhaling, bend your knees, hug your belly, walk or float feet to hands if you're floating. Arms stay straight, hands stay planted, lengthen your spine when you come forward. Exhale, melt down. Push into your feet. Inhale, reach up high. And then as you exhale, melt back down. Tucking your chin at the bottom to elongate the back of your neck. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, hug your belly, walk or float. Chaturanga. Breathing and opening up. If you want to lift the thighs off the ground, if you can see in the mirror behind me, okay? Thighs off the ground, upward facing dog. You don't have to take a push-up, you can roll over your toes. Coming back to downward facing dog, drop your head, push your arms strong, close your eyes. Close your eyes to give yourself permission to tune in deeper to your body. If there's distraction at your house or wherever you are, sometimes just closing your eyes in your practice because you know where we're going is a nice thing to give yourself permission to do. If it throws your balance way off, that might be a good thing. And if you need to open your eyes every few poses and then close them on others, that's totally up to you, but I invite you to keep your eyes closed for this series. Take an inhale. Lift your heels, squeeze your belly, exhale, walk or float, feel where you're landing. Inhale, lengthen your spine, hug your belly, exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out, around and up, and then exhale, fold again. Tuck your chin at the bottom. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Fill your space first before you plant your hands, especially if your eyes are closed. Walk or float to your plank and chaturanga. Inhale, pull forward and up, throat opens. Exhale, with or without a push-up, downward facing dog. Eyes stay closed. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, some of you might hate having your eyes closed for your practice, so if you do, I invite you to do whatever you're most comfortable with. And see if you can find a space of contentment, of just being inside your body without worrying about what things look like. Inhale. Exhale. So you know the movements, they're not going to change, okay? So give yourself permission to just know that one pose is going to follow another, that your eyes are invited to stay closed if you can. Take an inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, squeeze your belly. Walk or float, feet to hands. If it doesn't feel safe to jump with your eyes closed, please don't. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reach out, reach up. And exhale, dive back down, forward fold, melt your head. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Line up your hands under your shoulders, hug your belly, walk or float, chaturanga. Inhale, pull forward and up into your cobra or your upward facing dog. And then with or without a push-up, you can roll over your toes, you can take a push-up, press back to downward facing dog and close your eyes. Breathing in, breathing out. Downward facing dog is actually a resting pose. We come here to reset. Inhaling in your nose. Exhaling out your nose. See if you can reset your ujjayi breath if you've lost it. One more inhale, arms straight, spine long. Exhale, squeeze your belly. Inhale, lift your heels, your chin will move forward towards your thumbs. Squat back, belly towards your thighs, hug your core, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold yourself down. If you're struggling with your balance as you stand up, push stronger into your feet. Squeeze your glutes in your core, lift up. As you exhale, fold back down. The sequence will not change yet. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Line your hands up under your shoulders, hug your belly, walk or float, chaturanga. Chaturanga is the high to low push-up. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhaling. Exhaling. We're going to take this sequence 3 more times. And I'm only going to cue the breath. So we'll finish this one together. And then I'm going to stop telling you what pose to take when. So if you need to open your eyes, you can open your eyes. And you can do it with your eyes closed. I invite you to keep your eyes closed. Inhale, lift your heels. This is the last time I'll tell you what to do with your body. Exhale, walk or float, feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reach out, reach up. So I'm just going to cue the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stay and breathe. The next time I cue the breath, you will move through the sequence and finish it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we're moving. Inhale. Exhale. I will cue the breath for this one. The next one, we'll just move and breathe together. You can choose to open your eyes. or keep them closed. Stay here as you exhale. You can quiet your mind with your breath. Remember, we move when I breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. On your own, come with me. Stay. Move with me. When you rise, hands to heart. Close your eyes. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Purpose is to create heat in the body. We create discipline by approaching the same poses over and over, tapas. We also create heat in the body, tapas. We're going to move into Surya Namaskar B. You've done it before, but if it's not familiar and you don't have it memorized yet, we'll go over it a few times. Then I will just cue the breath, and then we will just do it together. Bring your big toes to touch, heels slightly apart, drop your hands. You're going to sit back and sweep your arms up into what we call chair pose, Utkatasana, or Utkatasana. We'll break it down together. Take each pose a few breaths. You're going to notice that all of it is very similar to Surya Namaskar A, with the addition of Warrior One on both sides. Some schools of yoga raise the leg before you come into the warrior from the downward facing dog, just to get a little bit of extra space through the hip. So if you don't want to take that, you don't have to. I like it because it feels good, and I like that flowy, like lift the leg before you bring it through. You might also notice that I'm keeping you here for an inordinately long amount of time in your chair pose. Cleanliness, saucha, make it sweat. Inhale, reach, melt your hips back. As you exhale, lift your hips, dive down, tuck your chin. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Be content with walking back or floating back. You could also land low in your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back. On an inhale, right leg floats. On an exhale, put your foot in between your hands. If it does not make it, please pick it up and assist yourself into that nice long lunge so you have a 90-degree in the front leg. Back leg spins flat. Sweep your arms up. Inhale. Now typically we just flow today. Melt your hands down. Scoot back a little. So you need to see my feet. You can see my feet. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands come behind you, clasp them. Inhale, notice which pinky finger went on top. Mine was the same as my back leg. So when we do the other side, you can switch. Breathe. As you exhale, release your hands down. Either side of your foot, lift the back heel. Step to plank, chaturanga. Inhale. Exhale, lift the back, push up. Left leg high. Exhale, foot in between your hands. Please remember, if your foot doesn't come up all the way on its own, you're gonna pick it up and help it. So you get that 90-degree angle in the front leg. Spin the back foot. Sweep up. Take time to set up the pose. Yes, be content with your body, okay? But you also want to be content about adjusting your body if needed so that you stay safe in your joints, okay? Reach up. As you exhale, hands come behind you, other pinky finger on top. Lift your chest open. Breathe in. Breathe out. Be content with getting feedback for growth. And you shift your mindset of feedback being criticism and allow feedback to say, there's a just different way to look at it, different perspective. Food for thought about, do I want to choose to implement that or not? Inhale. As you exhale, hands melt down. Feedback doesn't mean that you're not good enough. Melt yourself down.
It just maybe means to be open to a different way of seeing it. Melt back. Take a breath. Typically, power yoga, Ashtanga, flow classes in Salutation A and Salutation B hold downward facing dog for 5 breaths for the first few. And then some go to 3 breath and some go to 1 breath. Some stay with the 5 breath, especially the Ashtanga, every time you take the pose. So, just breathe. We're not as rigid in my class. If you want to walk your dog a little bit, go ahead and walk your dog. Bend your knees. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your thumbs. Exhale, walk or float feet to hands. Lengthen your spine. Big toes to touch. There's like a fist width distance in between your heels. You're gonna melt down like you're sitting your behind in a chair and sweep your arms. So we're gonna go through that same sequence a few times. Then I will just cue breath, and then I won't cue anything at all. I'll just let you move and breathe. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Lengthen your spine. Plunge your hands, walk or float. Melt down. Where is your awareness? Are you allowing your practice, push back, inhale, right leg high, to be time for you to watch and observe yourself? Self-study, rise up. Exhale, melt down. Lift your heel, melt, chaturanga. Inhale, open. Exhale, press back. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, pull your foot through. Spin your back foot. Inhale, rise up. Is your breath still in and out your nose? Chaturanga. Keep exhaling. It's a long exhale. Inhale. We want to get all the breath out to make space. Stay in the pose. Breathing in. End of your exhale, hug your belly, walk or float. Lengthen out your spine. Big toes to touch. Sit your hips back. Knees are going to come together like the pigeon toed. Reach your arms high. Hug your core in. Bend your elbows. Tap down. Reach up. Tap down. Reach up. So those of you that are visual, chest is still high. You're sitting your weight into your heels. You could pick up your toes. Squeezing your inner thighs. Breathing in. 3 more. 2. Last one, stay down. Hold, inhale your arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Plunge your hands, walk or float. Hug your core, chaturanga. Inhale, open up. Exhale, press back and down. Inhale, high, float of the leg. Exhale, pull your foot in. Spin your back foot. Sweep up. Exhale, come down. Keep exhaling. It's a long exhale. So when I cue just the breath, you'll remember the whole thing is an exhale to the up dog. Inhale the leg. Exhale your foot in between your hands. Inhale, sweep high. Exhale, flow down, vinyasa. Sometimes this portion is referred to as take your vinyasa. Chaturanga to up dog to down dog. And stay. Next round, after we start from the chair, I will just cue the breath. The only time we will hold downward facing dog is the very last one that we take before we come back into chair pose. So when I say stay and hold, this is the only place that I will say stay and hold. This is at the end of the sequence, okay? So after we stay and hold and I say inhale, you'll look forward to do it now. When I say exhale, you'll walk or float, and then we'll be back to our starting point, and then I won't say anything. We'll just do the movement. Inhale. Let's do just breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale, still exhale. There we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale.
Exhale. Keep exhaling. Inhale. And exhale to stay. Catch your breath if you need to. Slow your heart rate down if it needs to. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, coming through with me one more time. Follow your own breath. One breath, one movement. Finish your exhale before you start your inhale. Stay and breathe. Continue, inhale. Finish. Hands to heart. Good job. Okay, toes turn out. You're gonna heel to your feet out a little bit and come straight down into yogi squat. Press your inner thighs open. If you can put your forearms at your inner thighs and press your knees even further open. You're gonna shift your shoulders from side to side. If you need to lift your heels, more than welcome to lift your heels. If you need your hands on the ground, you can put your hands on the ground. Please make it work for you. Okay, I'm gonna stay here for a moment. So if you have a block and you need to sit on it, you're more than welcome to sit on it. Close your eyes. I'm gonna take this as a meditative posture. So if you're like, what the? No way this knows. Yes way. Breathe. If your body is like, really, no way this knows, you have this option, okay? Please only take it if your body legit is like, I'm in a ton of pain here, okay? Back flat, feet are gonna be in the same pose, okay? If not, I invite you to stay. Hands to heart, close your eyes. Can you clear your mind by just observing your breath? Can you let go of worrying about what's coming next? And I don't just mean what pose is coming next or when you're coming out of this one. I mean when you're not on your mat and life is happening. Can you give yourself permission to just be present? I'm sure you've heard the cliche of the present moment being a gift. Melt your chin down. If you're on your back, feel free to join us again. You're gonna lift your hips, right leg forward, left leg back, so that we can take a little twist. You're gonna open up. Now you are welcome to stay here, okay? If you need to put this hand on something that's elevated like a block, you are welcome to. If you're comfortable crossing your tricep to your quad,
You're gonna do that, and if you're comfortable, more comfortable dropping your back knee, you can drop your back knee down, okay? So you choose. Unwind, plunge your hand, melt your back knee. Some of you will melt down onto your forearms, drop your head and ignore me. Some of you will reach up with your back foot into your hand and lift your chest. Some of you will bring your forearm back down with the back foot in. Breathe. So just take a little stretch for quads, hamstrings, inner thighs, both sides, before we come into our meditation. If you have hold of the back foot, gently release it. Pull your hips back and flex your foot. If you need to, bring your hands onto something to elevate yourself. This is a great spot to be in. If you need to come down further towards the leg, I hope by now you guys are kind of like getting the drill of like, here's your options, back out of it or go deeper. And if you really, really just love splits and they're kind of your jam, kind of an old lady say that, am I allowed to say that's my jam? I apologize if that bothered you. Got you out of your yoga flow, yoga vibe. All right, lift your chest. And then melt towards the leg a little bit more. You don't have to come flat down if you want to, be my guest. You can reach your foot, whether you're in the half split up here or in the split. Do your own thing. Breathe. Slide yourself back up into the half split. From the half split, push into your lunge. You're gonna rotate to the side and melt towards me, okay? So still the front leg bending, so you're in a long inner thigh stretch. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, lift up, turn back to your lunge. You're gonna walk back to down dog. Pick up your left leg and then swing it through, plant it, come into your twist. If you need that block underneath your bottom hand, go ahead and place your block underneath there to support you. If you prefer the deeper twist by rooting your tricep to your quad, and maybe it's not deeper for you. Maybe it takes you out of the twist, okay? So I shouldn't call it a deeper twist. If you prefer another option, how about that? Breathe. And then unwind, either dropping the back knee and coming down onto forearms, or dropping the back knee, pulling the foot in and then coming down. Please choose off of. Hopefully you know the answer by now. Oh, I can't hear you. What feels best to your body? Oh, that's what you said? Oh, so good. You guys are catching on. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release your back foot. Lift your chest, walk your hips back. You can point your foot or flex it, reach your hand for it. Melt down, lift your chest, go in between. If you're coming into your splits, go ahead and come into your splits. If you like to come down towards the leg, please do and stay and close your eyes. If you like, no thank you, stay where you are. Allow yourself to be more introspective with your own body. So the next week or so, we will go through each of the niyamas individually. Tomorrow's practice will be highly concentrated on meditation with the intention of cleansing the mind. We could do a very challenging physical practice with lots of twisting and arm balancing with the intention of making you sweat and cleansing the body. But I want you to have a balance of things, and we did physical movement today. Walk yourself up, lift, pull the back leg in, come into your lunge, rotate to the side, and then melt into that bent leg. Lift back back into your lunge. Your right leg is gonna slide behind your left knee with the foot kind of tucked up underneath you, and you're gonna twist opposite. Breathing in. And then unwind, open your belly in the opposite direction. And then switch sides. Breathing and lift. Rotate into it. And then come with the bottoms of your feet together. Butterfly stretch or Baddha Konasana. I know plenty of you can put your head on the ground because I've seen you. Your knees touch the ground, let them melt your head down. I left my tinge bells up by the iPad, so don't mind me. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bring your hands back behind you, fingers face forward, plant your feet, lift your hips. Breathe. Slide your hips down. Extend your legs out straight. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale yourself up. Take your right leg, tuck it underneath you. You're going to push your right hand behind you, sweep your left arm forward and up. Taking a little stretch through this front of the spine and your belly. And then melt your torso to the side. Let the hand fall out in front of you. Slide back so you're almost tucked upon sitting on that leg. And then switch legs. So right leg out, left foot tucks underneath you. Plant the left hand, sweep open. Plant your front foot really strong. Might be helpful for those that are visual to see. So this one's going to push down, lift up. And then go ahead and come down. Come down to the posture that you started in. Typically, you always sit with one leg in front. This is the leg I always sit with. So switch sides. And then take a little reach to the right. And to the left. You might notice that your spine feels warmer, more open, more pliable, more flexible. It might feel less. Sometimes I finish a practice and my body's like, yeah, you need to back off a little bit. So, maybe I wasn't listening during those practices. But I'm listening now, body. Alright, come up. Actually, I invite you to say that to your body now. Okay, I'm listening now, body. You can say it out loud if you're comfortable with that. If you're like, oh, I'm in my house and all my family is listening to me and I have headphones on, and if I speak out loud, they're gonna think I'm crazy. That's fine. Maybe invite them to do your practice with you next time. Okay? Take your palms up this time. So you start with the hands down. You're gonna turn your palms up. Roll your shoulders, give them a shake. Close your eyes. And then one more time. I'm listening to your body. Allow your breath to wash in and out. Try to keep your Ujjayi breath in and out your nose. If that's not comfortable for you, our breath work is not about forcing, okay? So it's an invitation. Visualize each inhale and each exhale like you are just cleansing a mirror or a window. You say that the eyes are the window to the soul. Well, I've invited you to close your physical eyes and to open up your inner eye. take Shavasana now. I suggest that you put on some ambient sounds or some music that's very calming and soothing to your breath. And just come into Shavasana. If you do not have time for Shavasana, because sometimes our readings and conversations take up a little bit more time in class, and I invite you to reach your arms out, around and up. Bring your palms, hands together. Bring your hands to your forehead, to your throat, and to your heart. Roll your shoulders up and back. Melt your forehead to your fingertips. Namaste. And question of the day, Anjali Mudra, A-N-J-A-L-I, Anjali Mudra, hand mudra. You're welcome to Google it if you want to and tell me the literal definition, translation of Anjali Mudra, okay, A-N-J-A-L-I, Anjali, okay. It's basically a hand mudra, which is going to bring your awareness to something specific, kind of like how we took the mantra last week with Soham, bringing your awareness to something, okay. It's really an honoring of the divine within, okay. We often use the hand mudra within other cultures to honor that without, okay. So kind of like the yamas and the niyamas, where we're taking our focus out into the world and how we interact with others, and the niyamas, where we take our focus inside and tune into how we interact with ourselves. Can you give yourself permission to recognize that divine light within you and to honor yourself and be kind to yourself? Treat yourself like the king and or queen that you are. I wish you a beautiful day. Namaste.